Hey gamers, today we're going to look at El Vecchio. Let's check it out. Setup for the game is pretty simple. What you're going to do is shuffle all these little city tiles that you see on the corners here and in the middle. You just match the picture with the back of the tile there. Shuffle them all, put them out. You're going to put this +3 token on top of this stack here. Also shuffle your little Medici tiles and put them in the middle there. You are going to give each person, their character will be here. One will be on the starter track. 4 will be out on the board, and the rest of their family members will just be in their little player area to be put out later if they so wish. How they put these family members out is they're going to roll these 2 die, and whatever number rolls up, like a 4 here, they'll put it in, let's say it was the green player here, they had to put it somewhere in the 4 region. They can put it in any one of those cities. And of course, each player would take turns putting 2 out until everyone has starting 4 players. 4 family members out on the board. You're also randomly putting out these helpers here on the board, and I'll get to what those do in a second. The first player is going to get 2 coins, second player and third player will get 3 coins, and the fourth player will get 4 coins. Coins come in values of 1 and 5. I think these are called florins in the game. Each player will start with 1 bishop token and 1 cart token, and I'll explain what these do in a minute. But first off, let me tell you how this game is played. This game is played very simple. On your turn, you may move. To move from any one city cost 1 florin. So if he wanted to move here, it would cost him 1 florin, like that. So that's how you move. It costs 1 florin to move. But your actions that you can take on here is you can take advantage and activate the city. First thing you need to know is some of these squares, and this one in the middle here has 3 coins on it. That means if a guy is here and he takes the action with those 3 coins on it, he'll just flip his guy down, lay him down to show that he has activated him, and he'll receive 3 florins. At the same time, anyone who's next to a helper may also activate that helper. And if they did, if blue player wanted to activate that helper, he just put it down, activate the helper, and then he would move this token to the next available spot on the board going clockwise, which would be here. Now, that happens for all of the characters. If any time they activate a helper, it will move to the next city. These helpers are kind of roaming around the city, I guess. Now, what each one does is very simple. The white one gives you a follower token, just like so. The gray one gives you a soldier token. Here you are. The black one here gives you an assassin token, which looks like this. And the purple helper will get you either another bishop tile or a cart tile. It is your choice. And finally, this one, the red one, will give you either 5 coins or a scroll. So you'll either get 5 coins or a scroll like you see there. And again, whenever you take an action with a helper, you'll be sure to put him down to show that he's taken the action, and then move the helper to the next city on the board. Now, another action you can do is you can go to one of these outside cities. And to do that, you have to at first pay admission to get in. So for instance, in this city up here, you need 1 soldier and 1 follower to enter in. For this city over in the corner over there, you need 1 assassin. And for this last city here, you need 2 of any one combination and then 1 of another one. For instance, if you look down on the board, and I'll just zero in on this one, it kind of shows you that. It says, hey, 2 A's and 1 B, which means I could pay 2 assassins and 1 follower, and I could get in. Now when you do this, and you do this for any city, a few things happen. First off, you're going to take the first part on the track. As you see, there's a 3+ player game, and on a 2+ player game, you'd put your person here. So let's say blue player put his person here because it's a 2-player game. Well, first off, he would have to pay 5 florins. In exchange, he's going to get 9 victory points. And now also, when they go into a city, they get to look through the entire deck of tiles and pick one of these. These are just one-time uses in the game, and the book basically tells you what they do, but to be honest, after you play this a little while, you'll get it just by looking at the pictures of what each one does. But anyway, they get to pick one, put it in their hand face up, and whenever they want to activate it, they can activate it anytime. They'll flip it over and then keep it on their person, because there are ways to score victory points with those tiles. Now, another thing a player can do is they can go to Florenza, right here, the big city in the middle. Now, to get in, they're going to need 2 of these little scroll tiles, and it shows you on the board they need 2. Now, there is the government track and I think the noble track here. If you go over here, of course, for a 2-player game, you'll start here. 3-player game, you'll start there. Every time you put a player on this person on this track, you get 2 victory points. Over here, you get 1 victory point. But in addition, you also get a tile from the stack here. Now, the first time that you move and visit here, you have to pay a bonus 3 coins. After that, this little token will head over here. What will stay over there, anyone wanting to get those tokens, it'll cost them 3 extra coins when they go there. Let's say, again, like the blue player visited this, he'd go in here, and now he can go through the top 5. He'll get 2 victory points. He gets to go through the top 5 tiles in the stack, and then he gets to look through them and choose one of them. And again, the instructions will tell you what each one of these mean, but sometimes they are very self-explanatory. So whichever one he picks, he keeps on him, and then he puts the rest at the bottom of the deck. Now, he can cash in these whenever he wants. They're a little bit bigger abilities than the other 3 cities. That saying, if another player, let's say green player, went over here, he'd go in the first track. Remember, he'd have to pay his 2 scrolls. He'd get 1 victory point, and then, of course, now that this is over here, he had to pay 3 coins. But he could also look at the first 5 in the deck, and these are in-game points that he could score. And so, and again, the rule book will tell you what each one means, but he'll get to pick one of these, and then, of course, put the other 4 at the bottom of the deck. So that's kind of how that goes. Now, anytime a player has any of their family members in any one of the cities that you see below here, these 3 in the corner, the 1 in the middle, they are stuck there. They may no longer move. They are just, officially working or living in that city. So another action you can do, instead of taking actions on the board here, activating helpers or city or towns, or, entering one of the cities, you can roll these die and put another one of your family members out on the board. And of course, whatever you roll, you'll put them out according to that number. So I rolled an 11, and this guy could go anywhere on the 11 land. Now, if you ever roll a 7, there's no 7 on the board. That's a wild card, and you can put your man anywhere. Now, the last action you could take, instead of all the above I've mentioned, is to write all of your used man up again. Now, the ones in the city don't really matter, but all of them that are in the town or out in the land, you'd raise them all up and you'd get 1 florin, and that would be your turn. So the game keeps going on like that, and until all of these Medici tiles are used. Now, how do you activate one of those? Well, if you see on the board, and this is for each one of the cities, some of the tracks show the Medici symbol, as you see here and here and here and here. When players keep pushing people on the board or in the cities, and this goes for all the cities, all the city tracks have this. When a player plays there, you activate one of these Medici tokens. And these are all really bad things that happen to all the players whenever this is triggered. And again, this is in all the cities here. Now, I also should mention that in the cities, as you see here, they're also getting, even though they're paying more money the later they come in, they also are getting victory points, but of course those victory points get lower and lower as more people come into the city. As you see, there are Medici symbols there. But whenever a worker is placed on those, it triggers one of the Medici cards, and then, or tokens, and then you'll have to address that, whatever negative effect it is. Sometimes it's losing a certain item, or coin or something. Whatever it is, you'll do that and then keep playing around. Now, that's when the game ends. When the last tile is picked off the board there and used, the game is suddenly over. And then you're going to add up your in-game points. And how that works is you'll add up, of course, any in-game points that you got from these tiles here. If a family member is in all 4 of the cities, you'll get an additional 5 victory points. Any family members that are on these little Medici spaces, like let's say player had 1 here, they would also count for an additional victory point per space they were on. Finally, if at the end of the game, what triggers the end of the game is, of course, that last token being gone, but each player may take 2 additional actions if they want to. If they choose to pass on those 2 additional actions, they'll get another 2 victory points. And of course, you add up your points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Well, you know what? I see this on and off on auctions on the Board Game Geek website, and every time I look, I'm like, do I want it? Maybe, I don't know. And finally, when it was super cheap, I got it in an auction. I said, well, okay, let's check it out. And I really love this game. It moves really fast. There's a lot of choices to make, and to be honest, one of the greatest things about it is you get to decide when the game ends a lot of the time. Is the game going to end when I place my last guy on that Medici square? You know, maybe I don't want to do that yet. Maybe I want to do a few other things first. Do you want to put players, more family members on the board? Of course, you need them because that'll give you way more options in the game. But there are victory points tokens that you can get inside the city that give you points for not putting members on the board. And the more victory points you have, the better your in-game score could be, which is why it's in the noble track where the tiles are, those points are only worth 1 victory point because you could score some big in-game points by getting a couple of those tiles. But I love this game. It is easy to teach. It's like a mid-weight game, maybe even light game in a way, but I can't say light. It's mid-weight. And it's so fun. It's so simple. Games go pretty quick. 4-player game can get done in an hour about. And man, that's because you're just deciding what to do. But the turns go really fast, really fast. Very fun game, super cheap online. So if you want it, pick it up. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on.